Hi, I'm Tim, and this is Timberway Designs. This week we're going to make a cabochon of a piece of green tree agate. So let's make a cabochon. So this week's project is green tree agate. Green tree agate, I'll put the definition on the screen here, is a green tree agate, also known as dendritic agate, is a white form of chalcedony with green inclusions called dendrites that often resemble tree branches. Green agate is not scientifically a real agate due to the lack of banding. So everybody knows agates will have fortifications or banding in it. This does not have it. And the green dendrites are these little green streaks right here that are running through the chalcedony. And they're supposed to reflect tree branches. They just look like a lot of zigzag green lines to me. So this is a rock I bought from the rock shop or rock shed out in Keystone, South Dakota. I'll put the link in the description down below. If you're ever out there, you should probably visit that place. It's freaking awesome. I slabbed it up, and I like about a 1/4-inch slab here. And I'm going to try a new form. This is a carry cut. I just made this this morning. Kind of like a teardrop with a chunk of it sliced off. I think we're going to do 1 1/4 inches. So I want this side to be the facing side with these lines in here. So basically I want it to kind of look like this. I'm going to set that down. So probably something about like that. So we got to go on the other side. We'll flip the form over, and I'll get it right about there. Should be pretty close. I'll mark it with my Sharpie. So this isn't going into a bezel. We'll just grind it up to the lines and then dome it. So let's go downstairs and we'll trim it off this slab here and then take it over in the cab and cut it down to the lines. All right, we're down here on 5-inch trim saw from High Tech. Like I said before, they make a 6-inch. It's probably much better than this thing here, but this is all I got to work with. We got to plug it in. All right, let's see. We'll cut it right here. Well, that should do it right there. We'll get her on the cab machine and cut her down to the lines after I unplug my saw. Okay, we're on my Kingsley North 6-inch caber here. We're going to take this little fella here and grind her down to the lines. We'll start with the 80 grit, the 220, and then we'll hit it with the 280, and then off to the side here I got the 600, and I'll polish the edge with that like I normally do. So let's get going. So it's not chipping too bad, so I'm going to get a little closer to the line with the 80 grit than I normally would. So now we're going to move on to the 220 grit. I think that looks pretty good there. I could take a little bit more off this side here, I think. All Alright, that's close enough for me. We're going to go over to the 280 grit now. I like to check the edge now. I hit it with a 280. You got to kind of dry it off. You can dry it on your wrist, you can dry it on your pants, you can dry it on a paper towel. And I like to check and see that I got all the scratches out from the previous 2 steps. Alright, I'm going to take it over on 600 and hit it quick, and then we'll take it upstairs and put a top on it. I think we're ready to rock. So, when you're doing a flat edge, like this here, make sure you go at the wheel like this. If you go at the wheel like that, or if you go at the wheel like that, you got a chance of putting a little curve in there, and you don't want that. You want to keep your edge flat. So kind of stay on the wheel like this. It'll squirt a little water on you. You can adjust how much water comes out and stuff, but that's what I would recommend there. All right, let's head upstairs and put a dop on it. All right, we're all dopped up here. Got it waxed, glued to the stick. So we are going to cut a girdle into the bottom of this right along here, and about 1/8 inch, 2.5 millimeter, kind of right around in there. We're going to go around, going to put a 45 degree on here down to my girdle line, and then probably another 45 degree on that, and then we'll start doming it. So like we'll start on the 280, or I mean the 80 grit, the 220, and then the 280, and then we'll move over to the polishing side to finish it up. So let's get going. All right, I'm happy with this first cut here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a little bit off this top edge right here. Now a lot of places will say, or people or whatever, will say you keep cutting 45 until you get rid of the flat spot. Usually I only have to do 2 times, and then that pretty much establishes the shape, kind of a rough shape of the dome, and then you can start doming it. I mean, you could technically start doming it right off the bat, but you need to set yourself some boundaries with this girdle right here. So let's go ahead and start doming it. All right, I think I got it domed. Now, the moles of green tree agate is 6.5 to 7. I've done a couple of these and it shines up pretty good. Sometimes the dendrites or the green stuff will have some crevices and stuff in it, but hopefully this piece won't display that at all. Okay, now we're going to move on to 220 grit. All right, check to see for scratches. Get it dry. Well, I can't see any there. We'll go on to 280 now. That looks okay. We're gonna take the we're gonna cut the edges on the top of the girdle here. I think that looks pretty good. Now we're going to move on to the polishing step. I got to move the camera here, so I'm going to take you offline for a second here. Okay, we're over on the polishing side. We'll start with the 600. Yeah, I got to put some labels on here. I think that's 15 or 13, I'm not sure. 30,000, and then we'll go to the cerium oxide disc. Oh, we're starting to get a little polish there. I don't know if you can see the reflection. I can't see it in the camera, but it's definitely there. It's starting to look good. Now we'll go on to the 3000. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. We hit it with the cerium, and then we'll be done. Now we'll get the cerium oxide prepped up. I got to take it apart and do my thing here. I think that'll do it. We'll take it upstairs to get a closer look at it. It's kind of tough down here. As you can see, all the water flying out of my wheel there. I suppose I can turn that off now. So we took the daub, put the daub in the freezer, and got the good clean break of the cabochon off this. Didn't fall off in the freezer. I had to put it underneath hot water and kind of tap the sink. Sometimes they'll fall off. When these things don't fall off and you got to break them off, then you got to pick all the wax off the back side of this thing, and it's not fun. So let's take a closer look at this cabochon. So here we have this week's cabochon, green tree agate. Got pretty good shine. Like I said, it was a Mohs 6.5 to 7. I break the edges. I don't polish the back. I just smooth it. Now, what I mean by breaking the edge is you got a fine edge on the back side of the cabochon because we don't process it downstairs. What I'll do is I'll take it and put it on the edge, kind of 45 degree, and go around on 280 grit a couple times to break the edge. And then I'll hit the 600 grit, and then I'll just push it tight up, rock it back and forth on the wheel to smooth the backside, just between the 280 and the 600. So, I don't know, kind of an interesting pattern. Like I said, nice shine. You can take a closer look at it. And my new carry cut. Like I said, another shape. I don't know if I should be holding my little finger up while I'm showing this to you. So we're going to put this on a bale, and I had to kind of modify the bale a little bit. I took the shoulders, a file to the shoulders, and kind of ground them down, and we're going to orient it like that. So I'll get a little glue here. I use this E6000. I like the E6000 because if something happens to the bale or it falls off, or if you don't like it in that position, This stuff don't get hard like epoxy or let me get down here so you can see what I'm doing. Like epoxy or super glue. And you can pull it off, and then you can scrape off the old stuff with your fingernail, and then to buy some E6000. They sell it everywhere, and then put it on again. Get it right about there. I think that's looking pretty good right there. Slide over just a little bit. Yeah. I think I like it. So there you have it. The green tree cabochon. Now this piece will be on my Etsy page. Link down in the description below. If you want to look at it there or buy it. Either way. Or you could, I got a lot of stuff on there. If you got any ideas or looking for ideas for your own lapidary, go check it out. Appreciate it. Well, I'd like to thank you again for watching me go through the steps, my steps to make this cabochon here. If you haven't already, why don't you subscribe? I'd appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And give me a thumbs up. It helps the analytics get it out there so other people can see this content. So next week, I got a piece of marquesite. I love saying that word, marquesite. And we're going to take a slab off of this and make a cabochon. So come on back. I really appreciate you watching and everything. And that's all I got. So we'll catch you later.